been a minute since I did one of these. I'm a little nervous, but hey. Walk with me to pod. If you ain't know, you already know what it is, man. Season 1. If you ain't tapping yet, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, and listen and just have fun, bro. Sometimes you gotta lock in with your bros and remember what this shit about, bro. Feel me? But in the meantime, in between time, like, share, subscribe. We love everyone that interacts, everyone that follows, everyone that likes everything or views it. It don't even matter. If you get your eyes on it, I appreciate you. Peace, love. Stay bright, y'all. Woo! Nah, that's not like you already know. This like beaming me, yo, like beaming me. Yo, D, what's good, bro? What's good, let me give you a pound first. Gentlemen. Let me give you a pound first. Like gentlemen. Then we get back to the lyrics. Lock in. Oh, what's going on, YouTube? What's going on, y'all? Welcome me to pod back in the motherfucking building, y'all. Y'all already know, episode 18. Walk with us, my niggas. Yo, to the left of me, y'all already know I always start to the left, my nigga. D Brown, Todd of God. Yo, hold on. Let them know, my nigga. You already know the question I'm about to ask you, my nigga.
You know my favorite brand is Versace.
Yo, I'm about to come up with a shirt. I'm about to come up with a shirt, man.
Versace,
yo,
what
you got on? No, D, what you got on? I'm about to come up with a shirt.
Merch coming soon.
Yeah, bro. Yo, to the left of me again, bro. D Trail.
Yo.
D Love. True to God, you already know, yo. To the right of me, Con Wolf. Peace, family. How y'all doing?
MJ. Air Jordan.
Killer Con.
Killer.
Y'all already know. And JD, yo, welcome me to pod, episode 18.
Let's get it.
We was having discussions outside of this right here.
Yeah, right.
We was a Mac, and we always have discussions before we start shooting. And we got into a bit of discussion here between the fellas. I was telling Derek, I was telling Derek, because he proposed a question to me. He said, are the players in today's league less skilled than the players back then, right? The old era. How would you present the question?
I said, are the players today more skilled than the players of yesteryear?
I was telling D,
and I would say, I think it's just skilled everywhere.
It is skilled everywhere, but what I was telling you is that now in today's league, they not able to show all their skills now because the analytics took away some of the shots that provided skill, like the post, the creating your own shot in the mid range. Now analytics is threes and easy twos.
Yeah, but nah, they still
unless you one of them guys.
They say the narrative is that the players today are more skilled than the players of yesterday.
They jump higher.
No, that's athleticism. But when we talking about skill, we're talking about 3-point shooting that's considered as a skill. We're talking about handles considered as a skill.
Sure.
So the face-up game, pretty much. And what I want is to say it straight up. I think today's game, players have skill as far as face-up game, but the players back then have skill post-up game.
Post-up game, they had a mid-range game back then. Yeah. They had because back then you needed that to score.
Facts.
You got what I'm saying? You needed that to score. I would say this. Players in today's league are better shooters. They came in better shooters. Now you'll see more 40% shooters than you did back then. Even though back then you've seen a lot of 40% shooters, but it was because they were shooting 2 threes a game.
I want to dispute that. You want to know why they're better shooters?
Why?
You know how me and you came up. We can't play that type of defense though.
No. Yeah, we came up in that era where it was about post game. It was more about skill.
No, not even that. It was hand check.
Oh yeah, I mean that hand right here. Slap your hand.
It was hand checks. That's for real.
And that's true as well, where it's like the game was more physical back then. So it's like it's wiser to just if you're gonna be physical, let's just be physical at the rim.
Mm-hmm. Facts.
Why would I want to be physical where I gotta shoot something? I'm gonna be right at the rim and go at
Yo, that's my problem with players like Jason Tatum. Like, yo, you built like Johnny Bravo. Get your ass to the lane and go get fouled. Like, yo, back then, they would have put him no. Back then with Jason Tatum, with their hand check and the way they was playing back then,
They would have got his shit off still.
Of course they would have.
Yeah, I think so. Yes.
But a few of them foots would have been on that. They would have been banging Jason Tatum up. Like
Jason Tatum would have had to go on the post if he really wanted to be Jason, who he is today. If he wanted to have that same name today in the 80s, 90s, he would have had to go on that post.
Yo,
early.
And then
with he's 6'9", go on that post, Jason.
6'9" with them shoulders.
Yeah, they own your body and they hand check you. You got Gary Payton, you got Sean Kemp, you got fuck that. No, you got Scottie Pippen on your ass. You got Scottie Pippen on your ass. You're not dribbling no more. No sidestep.
You ain't dribbling no more.
Get your ass to the post.
So just to throw a name out here, and I'm only doing this because he hit 25,000 points in the league recently, Steph Curry. Would he have been successful in yesteryear?
No, absolutely. I think all the greats would have been successful.
All the greats, yeah.
Look at Rip Hamilton. If you want a small sample size.
But let's
Okay.
talk. Yeah, Rip Hamilton, great. Rip Hamilton.
I studied that out.
Rip
Rip
Hamilton
Hamilton
was
Elite.
But
Pete Meritage.
Pistol
Okay.
Pistol Pete, like that. Yeah.
but Jason Tatum, he's a great example.
Yeah.
Yo, coming off from college, even his first few years in the league, he had a post fadeaway game. Like he stopped shooting those now because the analytics told them threes and dunks. Those are the easier shots, the most effective shots in this game. And that's what bothers me because now we don't get to see more post games. The only post games we see in this league is probably from Nikola Jokic. We've seen it from Joel Embiid. If Giannis would have probably, and I'm saying this is strictly opinion, if Giannis would have came up in the earlier time, maybe 2000s, 90s, his post game would have probably been phenomenal. Because he would have needed it.
He still would have been there. Because I don't think he was based on skill. I don't think he was more. I don't think his upbringing was a skill development upbringing. I think his upbringing is more based off like athleticism, power athleticism. He like look at when he first came in. He wasn't a skill based player.
He was shooting though. He was shooting more than he was now.
I disagree only from the standpoint of when we look at Giannis Antetokounmpo, who has the ability to go coast to coast, and we've seen Charles Barkley, who's really the first post guy to do it. He's kind of like a Shaquille O'Neal.
Who, Giannis?
In that sense. What the fuck you gonna do to stop it?
No, but the difference.
But Shaq has skill though.
Shaq had at least.
So does Giannis.
Yeah.
Now he does. But Shaq came in the league with 1 or 2 moves at least.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You ever seen Giannis? I mean Shaquille O'Neal. Do you ever seen?
Not really.
Giannis does. That's not a skill.
Yeah, so you
Nasty.
Exactly. So
Spin move.
and that's the point. That's the point.
Step is mad shoulders.
Yo, I'm dying, I mean, you gotta do what you got.
You gotta use what you got.
No, but exactly, that's the point where it's like I'm looking at Shaq like, yeah, he had skill, he had a little drop step, and you looking at Giannis like, yeah, he had a little skill, he had a Euro step.
Yeah.
It's just in today's era, it's more face up.
Yes.
Yesterday's era is post up.
Yes.
I want to ask you a question. If they make today's league more physical, does that force the players to be more post up?
Yes.
Yes.
It didn't allow them, and now they have to find other ways to score. That's why the mid-range in the post game was so popular in the 2000s because it was hand checked and they had to find other ways to score. Back then, they weren't a lot of great shooters, so the spacing was more crowded back then.
I wouldn't say that though. I wouldn't say that back then it wasn't. I think it was more. They played based off percentage. So we talk. This is the thing which is so weird about basketball. Everything repeats itself. So in today's time, we play off analytics, and they did the same thing back then. The higher percentage shot was the shot down low, which is you're playing based off analytics.
Yes.
Let me get that 60% shot, 50% shot.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. It's the same thing. I asked y'all that question. Let me ask y'all another question. I heard Kenny Smith say this, right? I'm gonna say a statement real quick. He said the players back then had the same dribble moves, the same and one hustle shit, but that wasn't allowed in the league. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He said it wasn't allowed in the league, so they never pulled it off. He said they pulled it off in the tournaments, and like you know how they do UCLA.
Yes.
You know how they do like the UCLA runs now. He said they were doing stuff like they were doing the pick and runs back then, and he said that's when they were showing off their stuff.
Their skills, yeah.
Right. So,
bro,
were the players skilled back then? Did they have the same skill? Did they have the same face-up skill that we see today? But like, it's basketball. Here's the deal.
Nah. You bring up some shit.
Just real quick. I'm gonna say some BS. This is BS. My father's friend. My father was born in '64, so he was probably playing when he was a teenager. He was probably playing ball in the like late '70s, right? Yeah. So we talking late '70s basketball. They implemented the 3-point line probably like '76 or '79, right? So when they was growing up, they didn't have a 3-point line, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you up with some BS. My father's friend saying he was the first Steph Curry, right? So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I pull up to my father's block, we chilling, we having a good time, we all drinking, and then now he's like, yeah, I was the first Steph Curry. So I was like, yo, shut up.
Because he might have been right. He might have been right. It's just, yo, since there was no 3-point line, players wasn't really practicing that. He might have been shooting from deep before that. Might have been his skill.
I don't want to get off topic, right? But I'm gonna attribute that to my grandfather when I was at a cookout. God rest his soul, Jerry Brown, telling me he was the first black CIA agent. Okay.
Because he was nosy.
My grandmother working like my grandmother's nickname for him was the nose, but that's a whole separate topic for another day. But he was in that world though. But he was not the first black CIA.
Yeah, I'm dying. You know, black people lie all the time. We gotta gap the story sometimes.
I thought this was supposed to be.
But that was my point. Like back then, like for your point now, since before the 70s, since they didn't have a 3-point line, a lot of players from that time didn't practice that shot.
For sure.
Same thing with...
It was no...
Nigga, I didn't practice that shot.
I see that with a lot of players from today's day. Like now, players is growing up, coming into the league, shooting threes and dunking and thinking in their mind that this is the most effective shots. Right. They're not even practicing face-up game in mid-range. And those that don't show it unless it's a summer run or practice.
So
one more thing.
Go ahead.
For example, Bam Adebayo. I was telling Derek the other day. Michael Beasley himself said he's undefeated one-on-one.
Facts.
He said the only person that beat him one-on-one was Bam Adebayo. When you watch Bam Adebayo play in the NBA, you would think that all he knows how to do is handoffs, maybe a little midi, and he's just athletic. Unless you watch him play. But that's the general consensus, that's all he do. But then you hear Michael Beasley and them talk like, wait, hold up, Bam got a handle, Bam got mid-range, and he's showing this out.
So you saying these players are hiding skill?
It all depends on the...
It's not showcase.
It might be either scheme or the coach is telling them, yo, you're not shooting that midi. You can shoot that midi all you want in the pickup games. But in this day and age, you're not shooting that midi.
I got you right now. Who's the better overall player, Reggie Miller or Ray Allen? Overall.
I give
dribble, drive, shooting.
I give Ray Allen. Ray Allen came through. Shuttlesworth, Ray
I
Allen.
agree with you.
Shuttlesworth, Ray Allen was.
Had it all.
Oh, wait.
With the shit.
Oh,
overall.
No. Ray Allen. Reggie Miller had the post-up game too. Yeah, Reggie Miller had a little post-up game too.
Ray, you're right. Ray never really had a real post.
Reggie was a little bit.
But Reggie couldn't dunk, and Ray can.
Right, but isn't that still skill? So it's just like it's one of those things where it's the same question.
Who was more skilled, Reggie or Ray?
They both were skilled.
For me, I'm taking Ray.
Who was more skilled?
I'm taking Ray.
I think they both equally skilled.
Equally skilled?
Equally skilled. Yeah.
I think the reason I say Reggie. Damn, Reggie was a little taller than Ray.
I would say 3 max.
Reggie was a little taller than Ray. And if you're saying equally and taller,
Reggie wasn't dunking.
Right.
You catch a little bang. He's 6'7".
He never did.
He admitted it. Good.
No, he admitted it. No, Jake, he admitted it. I did not dunk in the league.
Nice. That's why
he admitted it. This is on tape.
I ain't never seen Reggie Miller dunk.
No, so you don't need a dunk.
I understand that, but that's the skill.
But you ain't never seen a dunk.
Yo, in the comments, man. So Reggie Miller ain't never dunked.
No.
Reggie Miller ain't never dunked.
No, he admitted it, bro.
Damn, he was getting buckets.
He was.
He was getting buckets.
But if you're talking overall skill on every facet of the game, I'm taking.
But I'm pretty sure Reggie could have dunked if he felt like it.
He was scored.
He was. I mean,
yeah, like Kyrie.
If he felt like it, he would have dunked. But he was more of a shooter. Like Curry could dunk. We've seen Curry dunk a couple times.
Curry too.
And Reggie wasn't doing that.
I mean,
This come from the same guy that was talking about, yo, Dame Lillard dunking, that shit fire.
That was off topic, but it was fire. It was fire. Nigga.
To get back. Get back.
Yes.
That's what I was telling D. When it just depends on the day and age you play basketball. Like if you asking players from the 70s if they were great 3-point shooters, they probably wouldn't know. If you asking players in the 70s and 80s if most of the players had great handles, and they probably wasn't asked for them to do. It just depends on day and age.
Jay, after having this conversation, I'm realizing that basically what we're saying is the players back then had skills that they didn't showcase because
I
believe so.
Because the game was to play inside. We got bigger. These players, they had real centers back then. We had real centers and real power forwards back then. So we're playing inside.
Hell yeah.
Right.
What?
So, but in today's game, it's like we're spacing it out because we're playing through that three. We're playing through the dunk and we're spacing it out. We're playing pace and space because the Golden State made it hot. But like you said, Bam, you got players like Bam Adebayo where they got other skill sets that they don't showcase. So, but real quick, it's the same story from back then, and it's the same story from now. So it's like when we have the conversation of who was more skilled. What if they all was just skilled?
Right.
I agree.
I agree.
Let me ask you a better question. We said it back. We said it in the two.
You said I didn't even have to talk about
I'm not gonna repeat all that.
Back in the 2000s. We said it was the power forward era. That's because back in the 2000s you needed more post game, more face up game from those guys. So the guys that was doing it was mainly power forwards.
Right.
In today's day, we can't even. Well, if we sit down and really think about it, who's the top 5 power forwards in the game today?
The power forward got eliminated because the center got eliminated. The reason why is when you have a center, you have the 7-footer, 7'2" dude. You need that 6'9", 6'11" dude. Or that rotational piece that could rotate and show that defense. You don't want that guard coming over and showing. So when we no longer have a center, now we can get away with a bunch of guards, and that's what we see.
And that's what's happening right now.
That's the thing too, though, with AD. People, that's all AD was saying when he's like, I want to play the 4, because when he think about it, his most effective years at the 4, that rotational piece, like you're saying. So it's like,
especially defensively, he can't be that defensive stopper. And that's one of those things too. When we was like looking at AD, when it was like, yo, why AD's not defensive player of the year on the Lakers? When he was going for that run. It's hard for him to do that if he's at the 5. Right. He's the last line of defense where it's just like, yo, if you don't get that block, then it's over.
Like, it's over. The Bam said the same thing.
And you're not gonna get the block all the time.
No.
But when you that 4 man, you could definitely have a better shot.
And they more effective. AD and Bam showed that they more effective at the 4 because they great defenders. But to ask them to guard the rim all day and night to make up for these niggas,
right?
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
So these,
got it.
Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson getting beat, and you expect me to guard my man? No, come on.
So to Derek's point, right?
That's funny.
How many players in the NBA have you guys seen are a better ball handler than Isaiah Thomas?
In today's league?
In today's league.
Not so many.
There's only one, Kyrie, probably.
Maybe Steph.
You could argue Steph. You
can
could argue
Steph.
I don't know if Steph handles is better than Isaiah Thomas, but you can argue Steph.
Isaiah had a
Kyrie.
handle.
Kyrie though is you can argue
sure.
who was better between him and Isaiah between Kyrie.
If Steph had Isaiah's change of direction, if Steph had Isaiah's change of direction, Steph would be even more elite. He would have more like a Kyrie type game.
Even more elite?
Yeah, even more elite.
What Isaiah's saying?
Yeah, because he's getting his threes off of movement and then pick and roll, but he's not getting it off of bop, bop, bop. Let me get my shit off.
He gets that
like Jamal Crawford got his threes off of bop, 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 and niggas grill, bam.
He was crazy. He was crazy.
You know what I mean?
Disrespectful nigga.
But Steph Curry don't got that.
And when he brought up the AD at the power forward, that's why power forwards was doing this. He brought up a good point. Like that's why players like AD, when you're talking about skills and being able to do what they do, these players now, they might be going back to like how it was in the 2000s, where your power forward might have to be over 6'9", 6'10", and your center got to be over 7 feet. Teams is narrowing down to that. Now that Anthony Davis and Chet Holmgren and Bam Adebayo and Evan Mobley, these players 6'11" want to run power forward, and you got to get them rim protectors now. Hold on, one more thing. Now it's going back to how it was back in 2000. So when AD's want to go back to that because they was tired of running center to power forwards like Bruce Brown.
I agree.
And power forwards like Caleb Martin. Yeah. When I told you, when these centers, you asking them to guard the rim and their sidekick partners, the power forward is 6'5", 6'6".
Wow, bro.
So to your point, I'm glad it's going back to how it was back in 2000 where it's 6'10", 7 feet at the rim.
So let me ask you, so if that play style versus today's play style, who wins? You have a more patient space.
Shit.
You have a more perimeter style, play style.
I'm gonna play.
I think in today's league, I mean, no, I'm not gonna say in today's league. If you're actually just period, I think today's play style will win just because they could put up more points. But if you asking the NBA on how to bring up viewership, I feel like going back to letting the players show more of their skill.
I'll say this. The reason why they put up more points is because this is the thing.
Defenses.
No, because when you play down low, you slowing the game down.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when both teams are playing perimeter, then it's long threes and long runs. When you shoot that three, that's a long rebound, right? And then now I'll be out to the races.
Yeah.
But when we're down low, and then I shoot that jump hook and it's a short rebound and my guards is already back, now we got, how are you gonna get this three off? You better run your set.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So some teams need that though. Some teams need to know how to slow the game down because some of the teams don't have post game.
I got one for you. I bet
I
you a modern day team
You're right about that.
that I say could do it was it 2016 or 2017 Warriors? I think it was the 2017
That can slow the
Warriors.
game down by going to the post.
By going to the post, because yes, they killed you in transition. Once
Was
the
that the
swing
team with
came,
Andrew Bogut?
No, you're talking about with Kevin Durant.
Nah.
Without KD.
with Sean Livingston and them boys.
With Andrew Bogut, right?
Andrew Bogut was
Yeah.
there. Yes, Andrew Bogut bad. Yes.
Charles he
Festus Ezeli on the bench.
he held down that half court offense.
So that's the only team that I would say like that could probably hold it down against a team from 90s or whatever era we're talking. For the simple fact, when they did slow the game down, their half court offense was beautiful.
Yeah. I also like, if we talking about slowing the game down and teams that could compete like back then, I also like those 2020 Lakers. Back when they had like the Dwight Howard, Jamal McGee, they had AD, Braun, they had Rondo. I feel like that team,
They definitely,
It was high IQ,
IQ, and just the play style they had, they could be physical. They was
but
big.
it was more old school. I don't really consider them as more new school perimeter.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like out of the teams from that happen now, I feel like that team could compete.
I think the pinnacle, or not pinnacle, but like the team that did it the most is probably like the 2018 Houston Rockets, when it was 5-out offense, and then we got James Harden working his shit.
I hear all that fly shit, but my only, what's the word I'm looking for? Apprehension with this is, what do you do with the 2001 Shaquille O'Neal?
That you're talking about James Harden style versus 2001 Shaquille O'Neal. I agree with you. James Harden's getting his ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I mean when you got that side all the way, because Golden State is more like in the middle. It's more like a hybrid, but like you have 2018 is all the way on that side of the spectrum, and then you got the Lakers, and it's really on this side of the spectrum. And I think this side of the spectrum is gonna be better.
Real quick, that same 2017 Houston team, didn't they play the Portland Trailblazers? Was this after
the Jailblazers?
Or this after LaMarcus
Nah,
Aldridge? Because there was a year where LaMarcus Aldridge torched the Houston Rockets.
Oh no, that was the when he was hitting them fades. Whack.
Yeah.
Or was it the Spurs at the time?
That's right before he went to the Spurs.
Yeah, that was right before he went to the Spurs. He did it in the Spurs too.
Yep.
He
So
did it in the
imagine what
Spurs.
Shaq would have did if LaMarcus Aldridge was doing
Nigga.
Shaq, they would have got, they would have started. If it's a playoff series in this day and age, they would have ran Shaq. They would have tried to run Shaq off the floor. They would have been like, all right, they would have been like, yo, this is what we gonna do. Game 2, switcher. I mean, we gonna pick and roll his ass for 40 minutes. We gonna pick and roll Shaq ass for 40 minutes. We gonna make him guard this 3.
I got an interesting
All
take.
day.
I got an interesting take before we end this segment since we brought up Shaq, right?
Hold on, one more thing.
Go ahead.
A lot of pick and rolls wasn't switching back then. So
Exactly.
yeah, so a lot of people, niggas was defending. Niggas was defending.
So they're getting over that space, so
Uh-huh.
that means you're forcing the perimeter player to go downhill, so you're sending him to Shaq.
That's why I was like, yo, it depends on what era. I mean, if you were talking about Shaq in today's age,
Right.
they would have tried to do that to him. But if you're talking, come on, man.
And these players,
Shaq
and those screens wasn't big like them screens back then. So if like these players say they can't even get over these little screens, man.
Nigga, what Kwame said, nigga? You ain't see my fucking screens, nigga.
Nah.
My fucking screen got Kobe 81. What do you mean? What do you mean, nigga?
Since this is a freestyle segment, right? And Shaquille O'Neal is one of those players that has played with a lot of talent. If we could kind of rewrite history, if you compare Shaq in his prime with any of the elite players he's played with, who does he win more with? As an example, him and Penny in their prime, him and Kobe, him and Bron, him and D Wade, him and Grant Hill, him and Steve Nash.
Prime to prime, who would be the best mix with Shaq?
Mm-hmm. Out of the players he's played with.
Maybe Grant Hill. No, Penny. Maybe Penny.
And Penny?
Damn, Penny had it all, man. Penny had it all. Penny had the size, the skill, the speed.
Only thing.
Abe over there cooking. Abe over there cooking.
I'm going D-Wade, gang. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh, I don't blame you.
Reason why
Facts.
is D-Wade, niggas sometimes forget how relentless D-Wade used to get to
Relentless.
that whack. It don't matter what defense you throw at the boy. I'm getting to the cup.
D-Wade was averaging 35, 23, 24 in the finals, man.
I'm to the cup on anybody.
His third year in
yo.
the league, he was like, yo, fuck that.
So, hey, that was Shaq in his prime. Yeah, it's quiet. Nobody stopping him.
Yeah, I'm going with Penny. I'm going with Penny because Penny had it all.
Penny, like you say, Shaq in his prime. I like.
Yeah.
I like.
But his teammate in his
You talking
prime.
about both in their prime? Like
Yes,
any other
yes,
people?
yes.
So when I say Shaq in his prime, I'm thinking like Slim Shaq. Like,
Yes.
Like probably like you could even say like early Lakers Shaq.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is his prime.
You know what I mean? And then you got Penny in his prime too, no injuries, and they running up and down.
D-Wade closing that game every time.
D Wade closing that game.
Yo, don't forget he played in Boston with KG, Pierce.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah. Niggas forgot about that. Huh?
No lie. No lie. I totally forgot about that shit.
Shaq played for so many teams.
That shit would be crazy.
So
Yo.
Shaq got the rainbow, bro.
Yo,
Yeah,
him,
yo.
who it's him and Dennis
Chris
Schroeder.
Paul.
right?
Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Him, Dennis Schroeder, and Chris Paul.
Shrew got a lot.
Let me ask y'all a question real quick.
But Shrew fucked himself up, bro.
He did.
Let me ask y'all a question before we get out.
Yo. I'm going D-Wade too.
You going D-Wade?
I'm going D-Wade too.
D-Wade.
But Kobe's the best player he played with
D-Wade.
in his prime.
Let me ask y'all a question because I was telling D. I'm one of those people that believe to every great team,
Mm-hmm.
you need a coach,
Okay.
you need great team construction,
Okay.
and you need that player.
Okay.
To me, personally, when it comes to the hierarchy,
Uh-huh.
what's most important out of those things, to me is I believe a lot of players made a lot of these coaches. For example, without Tim Duncan, we might not be talking about Greg the way we talk about Greg.
Mm-hmm.
Without Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
without Coles,
Mm-hmm.
and not to because like I said before I started naming these players, they both need each other. There
Okay.
is no great player that wouldn't that can't win. Like
Nah.
multiple rings. Hold on. Wait, what I'm saying. Hold on. In most instances, there's not a lot of there isn't great players that won it with like without either fire team construction or great coaching.
Mm-hmm.
But to me personally, I think the player
Okay.
made a lot of these coaches.
What about the 2004 Pistons?
With Chuck Daly,
He didn't coach the 2004 Pistons.
Check the
it was
Saunders.
Flip. It was Flip.
Thank you, my boy.
It was Flip.
Yeah.
It was
Flip
Flip.
the script.
Check Dudley's.
Yeah, he passed away. He was Isaiah coach.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was it. Nigga, what about it?
That's the one that shot the Lakers.
Nigga, that's a prime example. You telling me Flip Saunders, nigga? Flip Saunders made that team and shit.
I mean, he had the scheme.
When Chauncey went into when that guy that won Finals
Against
MVP
the-
went
against
into
the
Denver,
Lakers?
and went into
Against the
Denver.
Lakers,
Hold on.
Lakers,
When
bro.
that guy that led that team went into Denver and got them their one and only Western Conference Finals appearance,
That was
that
later
guy
on.
was the most
That was
important
later
piece.
on.
That guy, him and Ben Wallace.
He took advantage of Kobe and
You better
Shaq
not,
falling
you better
apart.
not tell me. You better not sit there and tell me Flip Saunders.
You take that shit
You
in.
better not tell me. You better not sit there and tell me Flip Saunders was more important than Chauncey Billups and Ben
Flip
Wallace.
the script
And
was
better
more
not no
important.
scheme.
Flip the
not no
script
scheme.
was more
none of that. None of that. Ben Wallace, Chauncey Billups, the most important factors in that 04
I'm gonna go on the opposite end of you, Jay. I'm gonna disagree. I really think it's the coach that makes the team pretty much. I think the coach is the team, and then the players is just like the additional pieces.
The addition. I'm
I'm gonna bring the examples too. If Jordan, if it's the player, then Jordan would have made Doug Collins.
He did.
No,
Doug Collins got jobs after that.
Doug Collins got commentary jobs.
Hold on. So you gonna tell me Braun didn't make Mike Brown?
Wait, what?
Hold on. Mike Brown was Mike Brown's the reason Sacramento was he brought them back to life.
No. Steve Kerr is the reason why Mike Brown was able to go to Sacramento. But let me make my point though, real quick.
No, that's the reason. Braun was the reason that guy still had a job. You know that guy was supposed to be gone. You know that. Hold on. You know.
Who was that coach he ran out of Cleveland?
David Black.
Yeah, you better say it was David Black than Mike Brown.
Did he win the ring?
Who? David Black? They won a ring?
They got booed.
No. Who? Oh, yeah, no, you're right.
They got
It was Tyloo.
But if it was the players, then Jordan would have made Doug Collins.
He did make John Collins.
Doug Collins.
Oh, you mean like a success?
Yeah, Doug Collins is not a success.
No, he not.
Phil Jackson is the name that rings bells.
He's a great man.
And I got other examples. It's the same thing with Greg Popovich and the Spurs. Right.
He had Dave Robinson for some years.
Right. David Robinson.
Yeah.
David Robinson is not a skilled offensive player. He's just an athletic big man. That's very athletic. One of the most athletic big men I've seen.
You gotta have some skills to go 70.
He was just
Just go 70.
No, he got skills.
You gotta have some skills.
But skill set compared to Tim Duncan.
So that guy came in when that Hummer, when he stood next to a real Hummer.
See the difference, right? Skill set, nigga. Skill set.
When he stayed next to
real.
But you see, this what I'm gonna hate about y'all. Y'all gonna think I'm dismissing the coach.
Nah, let me let my point about the coach real quick. I want to bring up my example. So, so Spurs with Tim Duncan. You got the Spurs. Greg Popovich brought out Tim Duncan, and he also brought out Kawhi Leonard. And before that, he had David Robinson named ringing bells.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tim Duncan is the better player, so he could win more with him. But it all started with Greg Popovich's scheme. Same thing with Phil Jackson's scheme. And here's the hybrid for y'all. Bill Russell. Bill Russell was a player coach. They wasn't winning until Bill Russell came.
Yeah, so he was the player coach.
Bill Russell got the documentary on Netflix that most people are not really interested in watching.
That black and white? That black and white? That notebook?
No, but Bill.
Michael Jackson?
Yeah, Bill Russell got some joy when he talking about when he was in college, when he was first coming in, when he was first coming into the NBA. He was the one coming up with the scheme. Yeah, he was coming up with the high post split, where he's at get the ball at the high post, they run the split. He was saying, yo, this is how we can get our shit off. And then he became player coach. So that's the hybrid example, but it's always the coach with until the team don't start winning until the mind. Like it's like
it's true.
It's like even with us, even with us as people, you don't start winning until you start winning here first.
I agree. I feel like that's what the coaches, the good coaches, the great coaches like Phil, like the Pat Riley, those guys when they get great players like that, that's straight raw, like Jordan was before Phil Jackson. Phil Jackson comes and he slows the game down for them.
And he puts everybody in his spots where it's just like if Jordan's at the top of the key, he's trying to bust everybody's ass, he's gonna face a bunch of double teams. But when we in the triangle offense, now if you come off this double team, boom, that's your shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's game
too, Jay. That's the thing. To add what he's saying, you got a solid point. This goes both ways. Nobody is loved without the other love. But
I agree.
To add on to what Chop is saying, you gotta think about it like this. If I know as Tim Duncan's high post. I bet. So now going into the summer, I'm working on high post shit.
Yeah. So
now when I go back to this high post, ain't nobody stop me in this high post.
Yeah.
That's how niggas is thinking. So now it makes you that much more dominant.
It's true.
Because of the actual solid system you have in place.
Now,
you know what I'm saying?
And I agree. Like the coaches are basically supposed to be the eyes behind your head. Like yo, this is what you do. Like to the team. And I don't knock that. I don't want the viewers to think I'm disrespecting coaching at all. I highly respect coaches in this league, outside of this and everything. Like I what they bring to the table is unquestioned.
But let me hit you with something. I think one of the reasons why they say today's game have like a terrible brand of basketball is because we always been eliminating the coaches. Whenever something goes wrong, a coach get fired left and right.
Yeah.
No, we spoke about that. I spoke
And
about that.
we don't really hear that. We didn't really hear that too much back in the day. But in today's time, there's always coaches getting fired, and then the brand of basketball is trash.
Right.
You look at Steve Kerr, what he does. You got Kenny Atkins. You got a few coaches that name ring bells. But why? It's 30 teams, but we only can name like 5 coaches.
5 coaches.
Now you know who should get fired for real? For the job that he's doing? Eric Spoelstra.
Yo, you better stop playing. You better stop playing.
Yeah,
I'll tell you this much. This year he's been underwhelming. But for fire, you better watch.
I had to get him.
He earned enough strikes to do what he wants. But that's what, to Derek's point. Some of these coaches come in, and it be year one coaches. It be year one coaches coming into situations that niggas know they can't fix.
Monty Williams.
And they ain't able to make mistakes. To his credit, back then, you when the coach got fired,
right?
It was like, damn, that nigga gone, he's gone.
Like when Larry Bird's the Celtics coach got fired before the black head coach came on. He was on some race. I think he was on some reckless wild shit.
Before they went on the. I know.
He was on some wild shit. He had to get fired off of being wild disrespectful. I think it was based on conduct, pretty much is what I'm saying. He got fired based on conduct, and then the new head coach came through, which is the black head coach that everybody know about face. I forgot his name.
And that was the conversation we had back then. I mean, earlier this month, it was more so like coaches ain't allowed to even make mistakes. They get fired, and they always the first to get blamed.
You do some shit today, you get fired for nothing.
And the player would never. They make too much money to get.
We had a conversation about Tom Tibbs being fired just because they can't guard the role.
But that Knicks spot is a hard spot.
Yo, I was talking about Tom Thibodeau getting fired. If Knicks is injured and they can't get past the first round, he's getting fired.
Right, he's not supposed
to get fired. Fuck the injuries, fuck whatever's going on.
I hear you on that. But who do you replace him with?
Oh, they gonna play some something. When you got
who you gonna get better than Tibbs?
Leon Rose gonna find.
When you got World Wide West and Leon Rose, they gonna find somebody.
Hey, come on now.
But back to the topic at hand. Phil Jackson's. I'm gonna use Phil Jackson. The triangle.
The Zen Master.
2 top 10 players in my opinion. 2 top 10 players in my opinion. And Jordan and Kobe. He had those guys to run that offense for him, and then they kind of similar players.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, 2 top 10.
Yeah, they kind of similar players. Then you bring in Carmelo. When he ran and you know that was Phil Jackson.
When he ran the Knicks?
Yeah, same way it was Pat Riley. The same way a lot of people think it was Pat Riley coaching the Heat when Bron came. It was Phil coaching the Knicks when Derek Fisher was there. He ran the shit. He ran. Don't do that, D. You don't do that.
I want to hear from him. I want to hear from him.
Let me answer.
Bro, you don't run the triangle with Derrick Rose. You run no fucking spread offense, you fucking dip. You don't run no fucking triangle with Derrick.
At the
Joe Kim at the what?
Who they had? Cole Aldridge as the center. Like,
right.
Get out of here.
Oh, shit.
And before Phil Jackson came through, we had JR. We had Knicks tape. And then you got Derrick Rose in the triangle offense. We're not doing this, bro.
Nigga let everything go for KP.
Yeah.
But
oh shit, bro.
Like I said, I highly respect coaches in the league. I know what they bring to the table. I just when it comes to the podium, I just feel like the player is here, and then the coach is like right below it, like right below the player. Scheme coaching is very important to the game. I just feel like it goes on deaf ears if you don't have the player. You won't be like, to me. That's the canvas. When it comes to the coach, their canvas is the player. They need a perfect canvas to make their name be known. And without that player, without those set of players, and like you brought up the 04 Pistons, that was a set of collective unit.
But here's the thing: I don't think we ever seen a good coach with shitty players and had a shitty performance. Like,
yes, we have.
Yo, hold on.
Because I was.
Yes, we have.
I got an example.
I
got Monty Williams is a good coach, and you put him anywhere, and he still performs. But like,
Eric Spoelstra made the finals. Hold on, with Jim Butler and Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
And he made a run with James Johnson.
You talking about COVID? You talking about COVID?
Jimmy Butler made the finals twice.
He did.
And when he beat your guy.
He did.
And he beat your guy. But
Giannis got a heart
attack. And Eric Spoelstra made the playoffs with James Johnson as one of his best players. So there is instances where you can see the coach's greatness through the team.
Yeah.
There is instances.
That's what I'm saying. It's always going to be the coach. The coach,
Not always.
It's always going to be
It's
the
not
coach.
always.
Listen, it's always if the coach is great, then and he has a great player, then you're going to get champion. If the coach is great and you got mediocre players, then you're going to get Monty Williams in Detroit and they 9 games, 10 games win.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I'm
Always the coach.
You see, that's the perfect example. That's the perfect example. Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's more Monty than Kay Cunningham?
It's Monty Williams. It's the same thing we seen in Phoenix. It's the same thing we seen in Pelicans. We seen him
JB
doing his whole
Bickerstaff is
career.
there right now. You said Monty.
Huh?
JB Bickerstaff.
In Pistons.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
No, I'm talking. Sorry.
On Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
No, Detroit. Sorry, JB.
Monty, that shit.
Yeah, Monty fired. Monty got fired.
Monty got fired.
Why brought up Monty?
That shit.
Why brought up
fired
Monty?
last
Yeah, that shit was quick.
Monty got fired.
Shit happens.
Yeah, Monty got fired from Phoenix and Detroit.
Yeah, it was quick.
JB Bickerstaff got fired from Cleveland and went on to Detroit.
Mhm.
Oh, shout out to the players.
Shout out black coaches. Shout out black coaches. But back to Detroit.
Oh, shit.
JB, same thing. JB Bickerstaff.
I don't know about that coach.
Nah, JB Bickerstaff, he's
Yeah.
real respected in the league. He's just one of those coaches that he'll set a culture for you, but won't get you over the hump. And that's the difference in coaching. That's the great minds. That's the difference between Mark Jackson and Steve Kerr. He was gonna set the culture, but over the hump, you need a certain type of mind. You need a certain type of mind. And that was Steve Kerr.
And that's what we gonna hold on. We gonna end the segment right here.
I'm getting on Derrick Henry. Like, getting on Derrick Henry.
My only problem with this shit is when you say Jordan, you say Phil. When you say Shaq, you say Phil.
Yo, hold on, let me end it real quick before they die out. Yo, episode 18, welcome me to the pod. You already know Ty the God, D Trill, JD, Calm Wolf.
This might be the only segment you
Episode
heard.
18, welcome me.